You're listening to episode 66 of Pick of the Week.
No, Fresh Floppies.
Top of the stack?
Top of the stack.
Fresh to the top.
I hate it.
Bye. Or hello.
What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're listening to Fresh Floppies, as we've already stated, and Fresh Floppies is a show wherein Noel and I, JD, discuss the books that are coming out today, Wednesday, new comic book day, every week, sans spoilers. That means without spoilers.
Sans?
Sans.
So it's not like grimy like sand?
No.
Sand spoilers.
Yes.
Sand spoilers are the remnants of sand that get in your bathing suit when you're at the beach.
Oh, God.
And it ruins your day. It spoils your day. Those are sand spoilers. Sand spoilers. But without spoilers is how we're going to talk about this book, not about sand spoilers.
This book being Venom War number 2 of 5 from Marvel Comics. Al Ewing. And
Iban Coelho.
Thank you. Iban Coelho, who I like
Coelho.
quite a bit.
Sorry,
Coelho. I like a lot. Hey, listen, I've got this Scotty Young cover. What's happening in it?
Sound is knocking
Venom
or Spider-Man out of Venom, or Venom so much that Spider-Man can be seen.
Okay. Because it kind of looks like someone decapitated Spider-Man and is hitting Venom with the decapitated Spider-Man head.
Oh, that's true. That's kind of funny.
So, what did you think of Venom War number 2? I hated it. Spoiler alert, not for me.
This book has won me over. Often on all of our podcasts, or even just in life, we talk about the difference between trash and garbage. Trash, I think, is like fun, stupid, silly, on the nose action. Like, fun.
Fast 5.
Wrestling is trash.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious movies are trash. They're just guttural emotion with big bombast. Garbage is just, you did it bad, it sucks.
Madam Web.
Yeah. This is trash. This is like really, really fun trash. Like, first of all, I have not been reading Venom since Donny Cates left, so I have no idea why there are 700 symbiotes. I have no idea why there are other legacy characters with their own symbiotes now. I have no idea who the hell that person is with that person. But this book does the most slapdash job of like telling you that. And it felt like I was reading a comic off the stands of a series I've never read before in a fun way. Gotcha. Of like, oh, what the hell is that? Oh, that's cool. Is this in another issue? And then they have little indicia. Like, yeah. I felt like a 9-year-old enjoying this like stupid comic.
That's what we're always searching for, right?
I don't even know if this is.
We're chasing.
I don't even know if this is good.
Right.
I just know that I was smacking my forehead reading it in the kindest way possible. And
meanwhile, I was giving myself a black eye, smacking myself in the forehead.
It helps that the entire narrative device for both of these issues, the issue 1 and 2, and seemingly the whole series, is a fucking wrestling match. They are talking in wrestling terms. They are, for some reason, maintaining this facade of them taking over a wrestling televised event, and it's so mind-numbingly stupid. But I kind of just like, it winked at me and I winked back.
Gotcha.
I don't know why this is so dumb in a good way. You know what? I don't have to caveat that anymore. This is so dumb that I want to read other tie-ins.
Great.
Also, like, okay, let me see if I can summarize this plot. After King in Black, what's his name? Eddie?
Dylan.
Eddie. No, after King in Black, Eddie is now the king of all symbiotes. He can control them all, either within them or outside of them. He's basically the head of the hive mind. Dylan, his son, is bonded, or not bonded yet, but uses Venom. The original...
Friends with benefits with the Venom symbiote.
The original Venom symbiote. It was the only symbiote not connected to the hive mind that Eddie is a part of.
That's right.
A lot of things have happened, including Eddie on a time journey who has met and seen the worst versions of himself in the end of the time and the beginning of time and all these different blah, blah, blah. Eddie has seen that if Dylan fully bonds with Venom, something terrible will happen and they will end the world. Yeah. It'll become like a giant Venom world. Mm-hmm. Dylan has seen that if Eddie bonds with Venom, he will become Meritus, the greatest villain at the end of time, which is a bad version of Eddie.
That's what Meridius is.
Yes.
Oh.
Meritus, whatever.
Whatever.
So both of them think they have to keep Venom away from each other.
Right.
And that's the Venom War. They are fighting to keep the other one away from each other. So father and son are fighting to keep it from each other, and they both have teams of other symbiotes that are on their side. And the Venom symbiote, who is sentient on his own, just doesn't have a host, is basically a little sad boy.
Yeah.
Not loving both of these people, but not wanting to hurt them anymore.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man agrees to let the symbiote be with him.
Yeah.
While they squash the rest of this, and then just hilarity ensues. At the same time, you've got Meritus, who is now in the present, trying to sell a drug to Alchemex that is a zombie version of of the symbiotes.
That is Eddie? That's future Eddie?
That's future Eddie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it says there, Meridius, sorry. It's a future Eddie. And that's why Liz is like, you look familiar. He's like, don't worry about it.
Okay. First problem I had.
Yeah.
You just explained it to me. Very first page. Meridius. Eddie Brock's bad future.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. This guy's name is Meridius, and we are time jumped into Eddie Brock's bad future. This is where it's taking place, is Eddie Brock's bad future, and this character's name is Meridius.
Oh, you thought that
I
was
did
in
not
the future.
realize that this Meridius is Eddie Brock's bad future. I thought they were giving us a time, not a statement on the character that this is Eddie.
No, yeah.
First page confused me.
Well, you're dumb.
That's true. I told that a lot.
There's so much overcomplicated shit happening. And then,
Yes.
so the final page reveal, I didn't understand, but
Nope.
I do see the covers of other books I don't read.
Uh-huh.
So I know who that is. That's basically it.
Okay.
There was a whole miniseries last summer about all of the Carnage things taking over. Like, there was a whole, fifth week miniseries that Cullen Bunn did about Carnage, and that was on the cover the whole time. It was like the Carniverse, Venageverse. Yeah. It was one of those things. Yeah. But that thing was on the cover of, most of them. So I'm just like, oh, big new bad. Cool.
Okay, cool.
Of old.
Yeah.
Big new old bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have lost track of what's been happening with Carnage for the past 10 years.
Ditto.
He got torn in half, and then he came back maybe, and he had some, I want to say he had, cyborg legs or something, and I just have no idea what's been going on with Cassidy.
All the stuff with... All I know is what happened in Kate's run where he was finally brought back-ish. No. He was reanimated. He was Dead Boy. Reanimated to be the host for the Carnage symbiote for Absolute Carnage. And then after that, I believe Carnage was without a host for a while.
Right.
And that's where all that shit happened. And that's the miniseries that led up to that. I think he has Cletus back, or at least some sort of host back.
Yeah.
And that was
with red hair.
Torn Grimbook's
Gotcha.
Miniseries Carnage.
Did not read any of that.
I didn't either. I'm just reading tea leaves, my dude.
I don't care about this book at all. I'm not in the bag for WWF. I'm sorry, WWE now, right?
There's 18 different wrestlers. Look, I don't watch
wrestling.
it anymore either.
I don't give a shit about wrestling.
I have 4 years in high school where I kind of paid attention to it because my friends did, and I thought it was funny.
It feels shoehorned in. There's no reason for them to be hanging out in a wrestling ring this entire time while they're. And I don't.
The commentators talking the whole time too.
They all what?
The commentators talking the whole time.
And I don't care about all the symbiotes. It's just there's too many symbiotes. I don't know their names. I don't know their powers. I don't care. Mm-hmm. So this is not for me. Although I might read, because I really liked the first issue of Venom War Spider-Man, just because it had Hobgoblin in it and it felt like good Spidey comics. I might finish that up, but this Venom War, I just don't care.
Yeah, Flexo, Toxin, Bedlam, Tyro, Wild, Sleeper, Misery. Yeah.
Ugh. I'll tell you what though.
Other goopy stuff?
Yes, yeah, staying on a goopy tip. Plastic Man No More, book 1 from DC's Black Label.
No, you don't get away with that.
We're
you don't
staying
get away
on the
with
goopy
it.
tip.
That's gross.
This is by Christopher Cantwell, Alex Linz, Jacob Edgar, Marcelo Maiolo, and Becca Carey. I haven't read Plastic Man in quite a while. I don't know, since maybe JLA, Grant Morrison, JLA.
I don't know. This is Black Label, though, so it doesn't really matter.
This was great. Mm-hmm. I really like this. And even in the beginning here, we have, because I don't know if anyone doesn't know, Plastic Man, Eel something.
Yeah, his eel was his nickname.
Patrick O'Brien, Eel O'Brien.
Eel O'Brien,
he's slippery like an eel.
Yeah.
He is a burglar.
He
burgles.
He is Thief Man.
And so we get a burgle in the beginning, and then we get a 1-page. Here's what happened, and now he's Plastic Man. And then 20 years later with the Justice League, and then shit starts to hit the fan. I know that they're doing it on purpose, but I am having trouble believing the scenes where Eel O'Brien is like, "Hey guys, I'm melting," and I understand everyone's laughing because like, "Oh, it's Plastic Man, he's a goof," but like and talking over him. But even still, I feel like Superman at the very least would be the one to hear him and be like, "Hey man, what's up?" But that never happens.
It's only through the perspective of him, of Plastic Man, so that's why you're seeing it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, poor Eel O'Brien.
That wouldn't be you're absolutely right. That wouldn't be the reality, but the focal point of the entire, or the perspective of the entire book is Eel.
Yeah.
Not anyone else. I mean, he has conversations with other people. Also, too, the art changes when he's with the Justice League, so it's even more. It heightens that imposter syndrome, and everyone thinks I'm a joke shit. And then as soon as he's away from them, the lighting changes. The
Kevin
the
can
lines,
fuck himself.
Basically, the lines get a lot thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a show called Kevin Can F Himself, and it's basically when the husband of the couple is in the scene. It is a sitcom, and everyone's laughing. There's a laugh track, and everything's goofy. And then as soon as the husband leaves the scene, everything's darker, all the colors shift, and it's a very serious drama.
Yeah, this does it.
Very cool the way it does it here. I like that a lot. And I thought it was the same artist. I didn't look it up, and I was like, oh, this is cool that the art, he changes art styles. It's like, no, it's a completely different artist.
Yeah, Alex Linz and Jacob Edgar, and they do wonderfully together.
Very J-Bone, this, what's his name? I guess Jacob Edgar. Very J-Bone, a little bit Darwin Cookian. It's really fun.
Get Darwin's Cook name out of your mouth.
I love that dude. Yeah, this was great, man.
Yeah, this was wonderful. This is basically Plastic Man No More, and because it's Black Label, I don't know. It's also a body horror book, which is really, really gross. Mm-hmm. There's some gnarly stuff that happens here, and it's not done for laughs. It's actually like this is the first time I've ever felt scared for Plastic Man because he is a joke of a character and a person. Mm-hmm. He's a terrible father. He's a terrible husband. He's just a terrible person all around, but he's got this ability and he wants to do, I guess, something right. This was fun. Yeah. This was really, really fun. Christopher Cantwell, man.
This was fresh AF.
Fresh AF. Do you think he's going to make things worse before they ever get better?
Probably. Yeah. If I had to guess.
It's also, hey, let's do presentation really quick.
Yeah.
It is. It is not thick cardstock, but it is a nice Black Label. Mm-hmm. Tighter, thicker. I don't know. It feels really good in the hands. This is a good book.
Yeah, I really like this.
Fresh AF. Venom War. What's better than Fresh AF? God tier.
God tier. For me, it
King
was...
and Black tier.
Barely not. What's lower than barely fresh?
Just not fresh.
Stale.
Oh,
it was stale.
Stale.
Exceptional X-Men From the Ashes, A New Beginning, #1 by Eve L. Ewing and Carmen Carnero, with colors by Nolan Woodard and letters by Joe Sabina. Oh, really? From whence?
She's awesome. She did the most recent run of Captain America. She did Captain Marvel with Kelly Thompson for a while. She's just like a really, really wonderful, she paces action really well. She does really good cape stuff. I think.
There is a lot of talking in this one. So basically we've got
X-Men #1 again?
Kate Pryde. yeah, right. This is Kate Pryde's story.
Uh-huh.
And Kate is my favorite X-Men. Kate
in
Pryde.
name only? Kitty in name only?
And I really liked her presentation in the beginning of the Krakoan era.
Marauders.
The Marauders, and she's the captain of the ship, and she's got Hold Fast tattooed on her knuckles and an awesome Adam and the Ants jacket. But this is her after all of that and feeling lost, unmoored, trying to figure out what she's doing next. She's got a job as a bartender. That's just at the first page. So I'm not spoiling anything. And it's just her trying to find herself now that she doesn't want to be involved with this stuff anymore. So it was kind of a bummer seeing Kate be this way. But the art's fantastic. The story by the end is good. It's your normal, I don't want to do this shit, but I'm getting pulled back in because some kid needs help kind of story. So I liked it well enough. And yeah, man, this art, it really is nice.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
But the new character who's introduced, I guess I'm just an old man at this point. I'm like, this kid. this fucking kid. Oh, you know what? It's a little bit like Wolverine. You remember the Wolverine Kitty Pryde relationship?
Yeah.
She's now the Wolverine, and now there's a new kid. So, yeah, this... I'm trying to think. This is above X-Force for me and above X-Factor, but below X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. It's like right in the middle.
Uncanny X-Men, X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, X-Factor, X-Force.
X-Force, X-Factor.
X-Force, X-Factor. All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, fresh enough, I think. If you like Kitty Pryde...
Oh, where's Phoenix in there?
Ooh, bottomish.
Really? Worse than X-Force and X-Factor?
Yeah.
I mean, I loved X-Factor, but I'm the only one.
So yeah, this was good. Check it out. If you like Kitty, I'm curious to see where this is going.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to read this, but I'm mildly
also, look
interested.
at the costumes.
Yeah, they're cool.
That's a cool X. I like the way they incorporated the X into the costume.
Yeah, there's so many X books. I'm not. I'll give this a shot. I just haven't had a chance to yet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about your favorite creator.
Listen. This book I was going through the order as I came in. I saw this issue in your hand, this cover, and I went, oh man, what's this? I got to pick this up. Jeff Lemire, I like him. I'll read this. And then I realized there was just a variant cover by Jenny Frison. I never know if I'm saying that right.
I think it's just Frison.
Jenny Frison. And I opened it up, and it was art by Jeff Lemire, which is an immediate no for me.
It's
I can't.
It's not an immediate no, but not any part of it excites me in any way, shape, or form. It's like I hate's a strong word. Sorry, I am not compelled by his figure drawing. I don't enjoy how he depicts facial expressions.
Nope.
Everyone looks like they're grimaced, or everyone looks like a cartoonish version of the close-ups in Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Like it
hairs on moles.
kind of. Yeah. Like it's so grotesque, and everyone has a Jay Leno jaw. Like I just don't love how he draws faces in acting,
especially for dramatic sequences.
Yeah, but I absolutely love his panel work.
Oh yeah,
his pacing and his panel work is great. Awesome. Like absolutely great. It's the way that he knows how to talk in comic books, so you can actually just get over the faces and get over his always pastel color scheme, which makes me sleepy.
Yeah.
You just flow through this book because there is no friction. He knows how to lay out a page. Right, he is that good and that popular for a reason.
He's not untalented. It is very specifically a style.
He knows how to tell a story with comic books more than a lot of people today.
Yeah.
Probably in the top 10 of just pure storytellers in regards to this medium. I just am repelled by his pencils, by his style. But
the story,
it's fine. It's a perfectly cromulent.
It be Cromin?
It's fine. A woman goes back to her hometown. Her mother had a cancer scare, is really sick. So she and her mother is a fortune teller. She goes back to her hometown to go help her.
Yeah.
She is a recovering alcoholic. Her mom's an active alcoholic. All of her triggers are there, but she goes anyway to help her mom, and it's very contentious. Her mom brings her back to mind the shop because she can't give readings anymore. So she has done a reading. She thinks it's bullshit. She's very good at it anyway. And then all of a sudden something seemingly magic-y happens. And boom, there you go. Yeah. That's the whole first issue. It is very sleepy. It is very intentional. It feels like the first chapter of a graphic novel that was arbitrarily cut off because there's no real kind of like finality to this issue. It is not bad. It's good Lemire, but I just don't enjoy his drawing. Yeah. I don't enjoy his books that much.
If anyone else, if not anyone, but if like someone else was drawing this book, I probably would have.
Even if he, you know what, I want him to pull a Giffen and just do layouts. Yeah. Let someone else draw
someone do the actual.
Like plot out your script with layouts and then just let somebody else draw it and work together, because he's an excellent writer, an excellent storyteller. Everyone's got an ick, and Lemire's style is kind of mine.
New ick unlocked.
Yeah, like some people hate his frequent collaborator, Andrea Sorrentino. I also think that's ick, because I am never immersed in his story. I'm just like, oh, look at that picture. Oh, look at that picture. Look at that. Look at that picture.
He threw a filter in Photoshop on that filter.
Yeah.
Up the contrast.
Yeah, and it's there's no panels to speak of for the most part. It's just like Martin Simmons, which I think is not as bad. Yeah. Where it's just all splash pages or all collages with text boxes around them.
Not a fan of either.
Even that I like more than stuff like this that is just, I don't know, it's like cornflakes with no flavor. Right. Like it's fine, but I don't enjoy
even
eating
Sorrentino,
it.
who I don't like. I can get immersed in the drama or the spooky aspects of the story, whereas this is just, it's so cartoony and it just feels...
Sorrentino's catching strays by us.
It clashes with storytelling.
His style does clash with this story. Like this style, I can't separate it from his earliest work, which was just slice of life people talking. Yeah. So
right. Here's something sad that happened in Canada.
Yeah.
The story.
And that totally fits with these faces. But then as soon as we veered into like Sweet Tooth territory, where it's this wild science fiction setting, it felt completely disconnected from the tone of the book. Yep. And that's what this does the same thing. So if you loved Sweet Tooth, you'll love this. Yeah.
So I read something that you did not read. I had fallen off the Scott Snyder train. I loved, with a capital L, his Batman run, the New 52, I believe. I kind of fell off ever since. I think his Justice League stuff, his Dark Knight's Metal stuff, just sort of was like, I don't really care about this. And I tried one of the first of his creator-owned Dark Horse series a couple years ago, and I wasn't interested. Duck and Cover came out this week from Dark Horse Comics, issue number 1 by Scott Snyder, Raphael Albuquerque, Marcelo Maiolo, and Bernardo Bryce. And this was awesome.
Oh, yeah?
In the same way that I enjoy Grommets, which touches a very specific nostalgia in me, even though I was born later than the characters that are happening in Grommets. This has kind of one of my favorite stories growing up, favorite movies growing up, is The Body. Stand By Me. 1950s, Stephen King, group of kids, It, the It book, stuff like that. I'm just a sucker for that sort of story, and this is exactly where that lives. This is I'm just flipping through it, and this is totally Stephen King coded. Yeah.
1950s Stephen King
Kids
coded.
on Bikes. I think there's an actual like D&D kind of game that's called Kids on Bikes. And that's where my heart resides. And so this is basically, you've got a bunch of kids, one of them very into creating movies. And his dad is a janitor, saves up for a full month to get him a camera. Something happens. He grows up to be a projectionist at the local drive-in, and all he wants to do is leave town because he's a black kid in the late 50s, early 60s, during the Cold War scare. Right? Is that the right time period?
Yeah.
And
Cuban Missile Crisis, 60s.
Yeah. Everyone's terrified. And the best advice they had back then, if the nuke was going to go off, was duck and cover, get under your school desk, and you'll be fine. So that actually plays a big role here. Yeah. And shit kicks off. It's a little overwritten. Scott Snyder do tend to be typing. He can't stop typing.
He writes, go ahead and finish, I'm sorry.
But Raphael Albuquerque is killing it. Some of the best work of his career. He's really just getting better and better as he goes. This was great.
I am a little bit more of a Scott Snyder fan than you are in the recent years. I didn't get a chance to read this. I actually forgot it was coming out. So I'm glad that it's cool. And it's exciting that it's his American Vampire collaborator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a great book.
It's funny. Which was co-written by Stephen King.
Just the first 5 issues.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, like, there's a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean?
I have been reading more of his stuff recently. On vacation, I read the first trade of Noctera.
Something Spaces?
Yeah.
What are those called?
Dark Spaces.
Dark Spaces.
I read Wildfire.
Yeah.
Which was really good.
Ooh.
But his overwrittenness, he does tend to lean more into, like, prose when he crafts a comic book.
Yes.
And you have to just kind of roll with it because it is, it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Like, everything I've seen him do, I wonder what Absolute Batman's going to be like. Is he going to curb that? Because it's not a detective Batman. Maybe his internal dialogue is not nearly as intense. Right. But we'll see. No, this looks really, really cool. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely in on this.
All of these Comixology originals that are now being printed.
Right. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, it's a Comixology original, and it's now being reprinted by Dark Horse. So, like, it seems like he's got a book that comes out every 2 weeks.
Have they been collecting them into trades? Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, the last one that just came out was Canary, the Western with Dan Panosian.
Was that Snyder?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
this is.
cool.
I think this is an issue of he's flooded the zone ever since he's left Batman, which was at this point like 7-8 years ago now. Like 80 different books, all coming out in a short period of time, whether it was on Comixology and all of a sudden they're not being printed.
Yeah.
The Dudley thing, this, Dark Spaces, the ghoulish one with Franco Francavilla, there's 2 different Dark Spaces, the demon one with Greg Capullo, the Noctera, I thought named 9.
Noctera was him?
Yeah. Him and Tony S. Daniel.
Tony Daniel.
Which is good Tony Daniel. Like, I read that first trade. It is.
I read it.
The first issue.
Yeah.
I read the first trade, and it's like, okay, this is kind of cooking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's very cool.
For some reason, I thought that was written and drawn by Tony Daniel, but that's a Scott Snyder. Cool. Yeah, man. Duck and Cover, issue 1, Dark Horse Comics. Highly recommend. I love this. Fresh AF.
Very cool. Something that is the freshest of freshest. Honestly, favorite book on the shelves right now.
Ultimates.
Ultimates, number
Marvel.
4, written by Dennis Camp. This one with art by Phil Noto. The normal artist for this book is
someone else.
not Iban Coelho. The other guy.
I'm working on it.
The other guy
is Juan Frigeri.
There you go, Juan Frigeri.
No, Ron
Frigeri.
Juan Frigeri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Anyway, this is more of the same, and I mean that in the best way possible. Like, Dennis Camp is treating each one of these issues almost as a standalone story that kind of propels the plot forward. Yeah. It's a very plot-heavy book, but it's not a driving plot. It's I'm learning more and more about this world each issue, which to some people might be boring, but it's not.
Pretty brutal at times.
This is a dark as hell book.
Like, I read
every
issue 3
has been
with
dark.
She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Brand new She-Hulk.
Yeah. Just
awful.
All of these single issues are. This is more Hickman than Hickman's been.
That's a good point. It really does feel Hickman-y.
All of these issues have been mini meals.
Yeah.
Like, you can really peer over because there's text, there's subtext, and then there's context, and every single one of these issues overfills each cup. Yeah. It's not like light on anything. This one specifically is formatted in such a way that you could read it 3 different ways.
Yes. Very cool.
The entire issue is, and I haven't seen anybody do this since Darwin Cook. He did it in New Frontier, where it was quarter pages. All
quarters. Yeah.
All quarters. And each quarter may be a different time period.
Yes.
And you can read them as they come, or you could read them across, or you could read them across just splash pages, or he's created basically a collage of different scenes that work in any way you want to read them.
Yep.
And holy shit, this book is amazing.
Yeah, man. I think I was less into it as you were.
I think 1 and 2 you were like, That's cool. That's better than 1.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Like,
and then I just kind of skipped 3 because I didn't have time. But I read 3 last night and 4 last night, and this book is banging. It's really, really fun. It's really smart. It does take things that we know from the regular 616 Marvel Universe, turns it on its ear a little bit, makes a statement about something. I'm curious to see how long this can last.
14.
Can each issue be this good? You know what I mean?
I mean, they have, like, if anything, this book does not feel reactive. It's incredibly intentional.
Yeah.
All of this is incredibly intentional. And that's actually, I feel the same way about Spider-Man. It's like not concerned with spending too much time in a moment or not because it's got an agenda. It's very intentional. And I think that's probably what leaves it cold for you a little bit. It's the Spider-Man book where it's like, it's a job to do as opposed to I'm going to spend some time with this Peter.
Yes.
Yes, it's very intentional. This is very intentional. So that makes me think like, wherever this goes, it is going to somewhere specific, and there's a countdown in the back of the book. How long it lasts like this past these people, I don't know. But I think it's going to be 2 years of awesome comics.
The difference here for me is that, as you said, these Ultimates, each one of these is a meal. Whereas I feel like the Ultimate Spider-Man by Hickman is a bunch of appetizers. Like, I'm not getting a full meal each issue. It's like each one's its own story.
Comparing just the issue, I'm talking about like the intent of the book.
Yeah.
Is not, and also too, we don't spend time with any of these characters.
That's true.
The intent of this book is to just like information dump in a very, very entertaining way. Yeah. I don't really know how Tony, I mean, I kind of know how Doom feels now, but I don't really know anything about what these people really feel. Yeah. Like, you've got, the first issue was fantastic with Hank Pym. I got to know how he felt, right? And then I got to know how, as much as you can know how Cap feels about anything, because he's stoic. Yeah. So, like, it gives me enough subtext to apply my own, idea of what's happening, but
you certainly know what She-Hulk feels.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. That is
yeah.
This is this the best book that Marvel's got right now?
Might just be.
No, not favorite, best.
I understand.
Favorite, I mean, could be something else, but like I think this is the strongest book from Marvel right now.
It's a shame that it's so mired in continuity, though. You can't. I'm not entirely sure you can just hand this to anyone off the shelf.
I think you can issue 4, no. Yeah. I think that you can hand. When this gets collected, it's gonna be with Ultimate Universe #1.
Good.
That's all you need.
I was wondering how they were gonna do that.
You don't even need Ultimate Invasion if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But then again, Ultimate Invasion is.
See what I'm saying?
I would give, but we're not talking about 30 years of continuity. I'm talking about one trait, like 2 traits.
Yeah.
Ultimate Invasion, and then this. And if they want to explore the other shit, they're more than welcome to. Yeah. Like, these 2 books are phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really good. Absolute Power.
Yeah, let's
wrap it up. Number 3, DC Comics by Wade and Mora. As it was before it came out, I was like, ooh, 4 issues. Mark Waid, Dan Mora. Wow, in and out, great. I love that it's 4 issues.
It was really like 5.
I now find myself saying, maybe it could have been 5 or 6 issues. We are just plowing through this so quickly that I occasionally have questions, and I have to go back and be like, wait, what? I think even last issue we were like, wait, what was that thing that exploded? We still don't know. Because it just goes so quickly, and not everything is as clear as maybe it could be.
No.
I feel like we have the same problem here. It is very bombastic, and we were talking before the mics went on, and we were agreeing that like maybe we should be reading some of these side stories because they seem pretty important.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I could just read the main event, and it's everything you need with the extra side stories on the side. This seems as though everything important. This like Absolute Power issue 3 is like the outline of the event, and all of the actual details are in other books.
Yes.
Yeah, which is it's a choice. Do you ever really want Doritos?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
And then you have a bag to yourself, a big one.
Yeah.
And you are like, I'm going to eat them slowly because I love Doritos and I'm not going to stuff myself, but then all of a sudden it's more than one chip and two chips, and you're a little faster. Then all of a sudden you're putting them in your mouth before you finish chewing the last one, and then you feel gross.
Yeah,
that's absolute power right now.
Yeah,
it's all these wonderful things that I love, and I just want it, and now it's like, wait, I didn't even finish chewing.
Yeah,
and I'm stuffing my mouth, and what's going on? And
kind of all right. All right, I see. Yeah,
that's what this book feels like. It's awesome. All the components are awesome.
Yeah,
but I'm busy eating all of these delicious components, and then all of a sudden I stop and be like, where the fuck did Batman come from?
Yeah.
Wait, Superman's in the room?
Yeah.
Wait, that's not Barry, that's Wally. Which one's
Yeah.
There's so many like little details that this book
yada yadas?
I guess yada yadas and assumes that you're reading all the other tie-ins, which I mean, it's not a terrible assumption, but still should be accessible on its own.
I want to clarify. I agree with all of this, but it isn't the same way that Venom War #2, you're like, oh, I want to read all these tie-ins now. This is also very interesting, and we are yada-yadaing a lot of stuff, and it makes me want to go read the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, this sucks because of this. It's like, oh, I guess I got to do more reading. I'm not enjoying this.
This appeals to me. No, I actually really do enjoy this, and we're nitpicking on two top tier comic book creators, one legacy. So I'm like, they yada yada big things, but he takes time for seemingly very small things that I prefer and love. Like
That's
we
Mark
have
Waid's
this
wheelhouse.
Airwave asshole. Airwave, yeah. He has a whole 2-page storyline, and I've never heard of him. Mm-hmm. Which, of course, like storyteller in me is like, oh well, yeah, they're gonna use him somewhere towards the end of the book to like defeat the big bad. Cool. We're telegraphing it.
Yeah.
But it's literally a 4-page short story about Airwave, and it is the entire thesis of this full event. Mm-hmm. What you do with superpowers.
Yep.
And
yeah, I've never heard of this kid.
You don't have like there's other creators would. I think other creators would let themselves get bogged down or mired in the plot mechanics of where Batman is and what's happening here and what's happening there. Waid brings your attention to something seemingly more mundane that's more emotionally impactful as opposed to plot-wise or thematically impactful. So I appreciate that muscle. And I'm enjoying it while I'm doing it. But there usually comes a time towards the end of the issue, which happened last issue, where towards the end of the issue, I'm just like, I already have a mouthful. Why am I shoveling more food in my mouth? Yeah. And that's what's happening here. Like, where did Batman come from? Or no, what was Batman doing? Oh, and Superman is in the room, even though I didn't see him in any other panel. Was he with Batman? No, he wasn't with Batman. Like,
I still don't know.
They're skipping. Like when you're editing a movie, it's like, okay, so I know it's not important for the plot to see him walk in the room, but in order for the edit to work, I need to see him walk in the room.
Right.
They are skipping those pieces to like give you a sense of place.
Yeah.
And that's if this is collected in an omnibus, I'd be very much interested in reading it, especially if it's mapped chronologically.
That's what I was just
so
about
I
to
can
say.
see what side character is doing what in the context of when that happens in this book.
Yep.
Because if I'm reading them off the shelf now, I still probably wouldn't have that context because they're all over the place.
Yeah. Like I don't know which ones to read when.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, triangle error. Let's do that again.
I was just thinking that. Triangle era. So anyone who doesn't know, when we were kids, there was a bunch of Superman books, Action Comics, Superman, Man of Steel, etc. And the storyline would go across all 3 of those 4 or 5 books. And on the front cover would be a little triangle, and it would just say 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you know where you are.
Okay, it's Man of Steel, but I know that it's part 6 of this ongoing thing. We need to bring that back for sure.
Especially for events like this.
Also, most importantly, I feel like I should tell you that last night I bought Smart Food that was Dorito dust flavored.
That's disgusting.
It's wonderful. It's basically just cheddar popcorn.
You know what? It's not disgusting. I'm sorry. I am so precious about Smart Food white cheddar popcorn. Yeah, I don't want it sullied with anything else. I would go into an apoplectic rage if somebody took Smart Food popcorn and like put M&Ms in it.
Right.
I would rip their face off.
Right,
That's like, why would you sully 2 things?
This is really good.
It's not too bad.
Dorito popcorn.
I did buy. I went to the store yesterday. My wife is sick. We're gonna close up after this. My wife is sick, so I went to the grocery store yesterday to get a bunch of provisions for her and blah blah blah. And I walked in with all the groceries, and before she could say anything, I just said, "I bought Doritos." They were on sale. and she's like, 2 bags? I was like, yeah, because I wanted sweet and spicy, but I know you don't like those, so I got you regular. And she just looked at me and she was good.
Yeah. How is the sweet and spicy?
They're so fucking good.
Really?
The purple bag?
Yeah.
I think it's sweet
I've never bothered.
They're so good.
All I want is regular or spicy.
If they survive my house, I'll bring you some.
Great. Okay, cool.
But, probably not. It's probably not going to happen.
It's up in the air.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Tonight?
Yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about Blink Twice, new movie that's out in theaters, as well as we're going to revisit, or some of us for the first time, a Jeremy Saulnier classic, Green Room.
One of my all-time favorite movies.
And we're revisiting Green Room because he's got a new movie coming out called Rebel Ridge on Netflix next week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So tonight on the live stream on YouTube, also we're on Twitch. We get some views on Twitch.
Word. Let's go.
So if you're on Twitch, follow us there, I guess. Is that what it's called? Twitch, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Do.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.